Hello dear students and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we are going to discuss most important questions for English exam for inter second year. So as you know students, English exam is for total 80 marks. Out of 80 marks, passing marks are 28. 28 marks you need to get in your theory paper to pass. So total 17 bits you'll get in the exam. So from these 17 bits, bit number 1, bit number 2 and bit number 3. These 3 bits are going to help you get total 24 marks in your exam. So these 3 bits come in the first section, that is section A. So in this section you'll write all question answers, that is you can write summaries. So which lesson summaries are most important? Definitely going to come in your exam. Let's see. Let's see the poems. First poem is Fear by Khalil Gibran. So in this poem there is a river, a smaller water body and there is a ocean which is a larger water body. So when the river sees such a big ocean in front of it, it shakes, it trembles. It thinks that it will lose its identity. So the river looks back at all the ways it had traveled earlier, that is, the forests, the villages, the mountain tops. But the river cannot go back. It is impossible to go back. So the river has to take the risk of entering into the ocean water, and it must not think that its identity will be lost. But she must think that she is getting a chance to become a part of such a big ocean. So in this poem, the poet Khalil Gibran calls the river as she because he is giving human characteristics to a non-living water body. It is called personification. The poet wants to pass a message to human beings who have different types of fears like fear of change, fear of death, fear of losing identity, fear of being forgotten into this universe, and many more fears. So, the message of this poem is that if you want to overcome fear, then you must take risk in your life. Our next important poem is Awake by Sarojini Naidu. So, as you know, students, Sarojini Naidu was a freedom fighter and she used to write poems. She was the Nightingale of India, and in this poem, Awake, she talks about her love for Mother India. And this poem was written before independence. So, this poem motivated many Indians to fight for freedom. It is a call, a request to Mother India to awaken and cut the problems that are caused by Britishers and end the British rule and fight for freedom. So, the people of different religions have come together. The Muslims have come with their swords to protect Mother India. The Hindus have come with flowers to crown Mother India. The Christians have come with songs, and the Parsis have come with flames of hope, and other all religions have come with dauntless devotion, means fearless devotion towards Mother India. So India is called with two names in this poem. One is a queen and another is a goddess. Indians are ready to serve, worship, adore, protect and salute Mother India. So the message is that with unity of Indians we can get freedom for India. The third poem is On the Grasshopper and Cricket, written by John Keats. This poem is about the never ending beauty of nature. In this poem, the poet John Keats, who was an English romantic poet who died at the age of 25, talks about two insects from the nature. First, he talks about the grasshopper who sings during the summer season. He never gets tired of singing. Even if he does, he is going to rest under a pleasant weed, and the grasshopper's voice comes from freshly cut grass. Then later on, the poet talks about winter season. He says that on a lone winter night, when everything is silent and the frost is there, means ice crystals have formed, the cricket sings its song, and his voice comes from the stove in the kitchen. But during winter, the people who are half asleep, they think that, oh, again that grasshopper might be singing on a grassy hill. They think that the grasshopper is singing the song and they feel the warmth of summer in winter by thinking like that. But why do they think that the grasshopper is singing when actually the cricket is singing? Because both the insects have a similar voice. So, this poem is a 14-line sonnet where the first 8 lines are called octave and they talk about the grasshopper, and the last 6 lines of the poem are called sestet. and they talk about the cricket. So if one creature is singing in one season, another creature is singing in another season. So the poetry of the earth is always living. It's never stopping. So these three are the most easiest poems, students. You have to study all three. Then only you'll be able to write two summaries in the exam for 8 marks. You can check my playlist. I have already uploaded easy answers. Now coming to prose lessons. In prose, first important lesson is How to Avoid Foolish Opinions by Bertrand Russell. So he was a great mathematician, logician and multifaceted genius. In this lesson, How to Avoid Foolish Opinions, he tells us how to avoid bad and foolish ideas. And for this, he says 5 ways, that is, observe yourself, look for biases, travel outside, read a newspaper from outside, and have a mock debate with an imaginary opponent in your mind. He gives example of Aristotle, who was an economist, and he gave foolish statements. He thought that women have less teeth than men, so he published it in his books without any research. Then the author also gives an example of Chinese customs, like China was ruled earlier by Manchus. After China got freedom, still they followed their foolish customs, like men should have pigtails, means ponytails, and everyone must have small height and small feet because they believe that small is beautiful. Then the author talks about arithmetic. He says that arithmetic is a part of knowledge. So there is no bad treatment in arithmetic, but in theology, bad treatment can happen because in theology, people of different religious groups sit together. At that time, they can. Lastly, he says not to have human pride because we are a small part of this big universe. So, this lesson talks about the many mistakes human beings make, and it is important to know the facts and details of anything before speaking about it. Second lesson is The Awakening of Women by K.M. Panikkar. So K.M. Panikkar is a very popular writer who wrote about 50 books in Malayalam and English. In this lesson, The Awakening of Women, he talks about two movements. First is Brahmo Samaj movement and second is the Gandhian movement. So these movements are a proof that women participated in the freedom struggle. They were everywhere with Mahatma Gandhi. They boycotted the British goods and promoted Swadeshi goods and also didn't follow British laws. So the first movement that happened was the Brahmo Samaj movement. Now this movement was started by Raja Ram Mohan Roy. This movement ended the sati system in India, that a woman has to die after her husband dies, and also child marriages were stopped. Then later on from 1915 to 1947, the Gandhian movement was led by Mahatma Gandhi. In this, the Quit India movement, non-violent movement, all these movements took place and women started getting their rights. They got rights like right to education, right to equality, right to independent property. They can buy their own property now. Age of marriage increased. Women became free from political, social, legal restrictions. Also, prevention of temple services. So basically, women's status position had changed, it had transformed, and this lesson is a proof of it, that women participated in India's freedom struggle. And after this, many women were given important high positions in politics, administration, etc. Like Sarojini Naidu, she became the first governor of an independent state, Uttar Pradesh, first women governor. Now, our third important lesson is the solution to plastic pollution. Now, this lesson is an article taken from the internet about Dr. Rajagopalan Vasudevan, who is an Indian scientist and works at TCE, that is Tyagarajar College of Engineering. In that college, he worked on a research project which was about how to reuse and recycle plastic waste. And while doing that, one day while watching TV, he heard wrong that plastic dissolves in water. Then he goes to his lab and conducts one experiment using tar and bitumen. He heats plastic to 160 degree, and as soon as the temperature comes to 155 degree, he lays shredded pieces of plastic on the hot gravel along with tar and bitumen, which are substances used to construct a road. And finally, he finds a permanent solution to plastic waste. He finds that we can use plastic waste to construct roads, and the main source of plastic waste is garbage. So he had created this technology, but he was not sure about the ownership rights that are patent rights. Then someone told him that you don't need patent rights, that is ownership rights, because this is your own invention. So Dr. Vasudevan was later on motivated by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, as Abdul Kalam said that your invention will one day be practiced. Very soon in India came the Clean India campaign, in which Dr. Vasudevan got a chance to talk about his technology. That there are many benefits of his technology, like it is low cost, simple technology, spot use of plastic, and waterproof roads up to 60 years. Double road strength means heavy vehicles can also travel. It has zero maintenance and a new surface is formed. So Dr. Vasudevan could have sold this technology abroad and earned millions of dollars, but instead of that, he gave it free to the Indian government. So whenever we get a chance to serve our country, we must do it. So if you learn these three answers, you can get total 8 marks. Now moving on to short stories. Most important three short stories are there: A Gift for Christmas, The Doctor's Word, and an interview. So first one, A Gift for Christmas, written by O. Henry. So O. Henry's original name is William Sidney Potter, and he has written 600 stories on American life. So this story, A Gift for Christmas, was taken from his collection of stories, that is the 4 million. This story is about a couple named Jim and Della. So Jim is a 22-year-old boy who is burdened with his family's responsibility. They are very poor. He only earns $20 per week. On the other hand, Della is a frugal lady. She saves money to run her house. After saving for several months, her monthly savings are only $1.87. It is the occasion of Christmas and Della wanted to buy a gift for Jim, but she didn't have enough money. So she decided to sell her long brown beautiful hair at a salon, and she sold her hair for $20 and she used $1 from the monthly saving, and then she goes to a shop and buys a platinum watch chain for Jim's ancestral gold watch. So Jim already has a gold watch. For that she got a chain. Then Jim also secretly wanted to buy a gift for Della. So he decides to sell his gold watch, and after selling that, he buys ivory combs for Della's long hair. But he doesn't know that Della has already sold her hair. When he returns home after work, he sees that Della's hair is cut short. He wanted Della to use the combs, but she cannot use them now. Della consoles Jim by saying that, "Don't worry, my hair will grow back again. And look what I got for you, a platinum watch chain for your gold watch." But she doesn't know that Jim has already sold it. So in this story, there is an irony that both of them were not able to use each other's gifts. They had decided, but they were not able to. So this lesson teaches us love, sacrifice, and the value of a gift that lies in the giver and not in the gift itself. Our next short story is The Doctor's Word by R.K. Narayan. So R.K. Narayan was a very popular Indian writer. He was one of the leading contemporary writers of his time, and he also had a career span of about 60 years. So this story, The Doctor's Word, is about how the soothing words of a doctor can save a patient's life. So in this story, there is an honest doctor. His name is Dr. Raman, and people visit him only when they are about to die or very serious. His fees is very high, that is 25 rupees at that time. Also because he never sugarcoats words, means he never lies to his patients about their health. Now, Dr. Raman has a very old friend since 40 years. His name is Gopal. Because Dr. Raman was busy, he didn't meet Gopal from 3 months, and one day Gopal's son comes to his clinic and he informs that Gopal is not well since 1.5 months. After hearing about Gopal's health, Raman goes to Gopal's home and conducts his operation as he felt a need to do that. During that time, hospital facilities were not there. So after conducting his operation, Dr. Raman understood that Gopal is not going to live, but still he kept Gopal under observation. At night, Gopal wakes up from sleep and he questions Dr. Raman to tell him whether he is going to live or die, because Gopal has to sign a property will, otherwise Subaya and its gang members are going to trouble Gopal's wife and children for property. So Dr. Raman was very confused, but for the first time in his life, he lied. He said, "Gopal, you are safe." He gave hope to Gopal, and Gopal said, Dr. Raman, it is coming out from your mouth. That means I am safe. Dr. Raman leaves Gopal with his assistant and goes. He returns back in the morning and he sees that a miracle has happened. Gopal is safe now. It is a puzzle for Dr. Raman that how Gopal was saved. So, this lesson tells us that soothing words of a doctor can save a person's life. Third important short story is an interview written by Richard Jordan. So, Richard Jordan is an anesthetist and a surgeon. Anesthetist means a person who gives anesthesia to patients to make them unconscious before the operation. He is also a writer and he was popular for his doctor series of novels. Means in the process of becoming a doctor, he used to write also about his experiences and that became very popular. So, this story is about Richard Jordan's personal life experience wherein he wanted admission into St. Swithin's Medical School and for that he had to attend an interview. He goes to attend an interview. He is made to sit in a room and he is deeply thinking that why he wants to become a doctor and suddenly the door opens and there is the secretary of the dean of the college. He means head of the college. His secretary has come, a thin old man who is very pale, and he is going to ask Richard Jordan questions and conduct his interview. He starts questioning Richard. So he asked him three questions. First question, did you study in a public school? Second question, do you play rugby, football, or any other association? So, rugby is also a sport wherein you have forward and backward players. The third question was, can you afford to pay the fee? And to all these three questions, Richard answered yes. Richard said that he was a wings 3 quarter player in rugby game. And then the secretary takes Richard Jordan to the dean's room. The dean's name is Dr. Lionel Loftus and he also asked Richard the same questions and he was impressed by his personality that Richard was an 18-year-old, thin, rugby player of wings 3 quarter position. Then he announces that Richard, you are selected in this interview. After the interview, Richard feels that this interview was so easy. It was superfluous. The questions were not related to the profession. So, the moral of the story is that it teaches us the process and procedure of conducting an interview in real life. Now, sometimes just based on talent, we get admissions and jobs. So, if you learn all these three summaries, you'll get total 8 marks. So, let me tell you, students, that I have already uploaded all these summaries. You can check them out, and these summaries are very easy to write and will help you score 4 out of 4. And students, I'm going to upload most important grammar. Students, if I was able to help you, then don't forget to hype this video and contact me on my Telegram ID if you need notes. And don't forget to check the playlist which is given in the comment section and hit the bell icon to get notified for my next upcoming video.